Hi, you guys, and welcome to my world. I'm here with Sam.
Hi.
One of my best friends, wife, mom, stylist, makeup artist, photographer. She does like a million things. She's amazing. And we're going to be talking about being married versus being single today. So let's get into it.
So we've got lots of questions.
We have really good questions. I asked you guys again on my Instagram what you guys wanted to know. And here it goes.
We'll have fun contrasting views.
Yes.
I'm married, she's single, so I think it'll be fun. Some of these we haven't thought through any of these questions.
Yeah, we just get them and go.
So I'm going to be reading them off here. The first question is, in your opinion, has your parents' relationship affected your view of marriage? And if so, has it been positively or negatively affected? Or both?
Absolutely. I think it has. Positively mainly because they make it look really, really easy. And then I got out here in California and I realized it's not as easy as they make it look. When you get grown, you just kind of realize things. Yeah.
I'd have to say kind of the same. I feel like my parents are really like kind of involved, if you will. Not really involved, but like they were like my parents are pastors and my dad has actually like a whole curriculum on marriage. Like their marriage growing up was like beautiful. It still is a beautiful marriage. Like I'm like
I'm in awe of my parents' marriage. Like the way they are, like it's
and the
amazing.
way I've seen my mom just like lay down her life for my dad and vice versa, and see them love each other has been like monumental for my marriage. But at the same time, like obviously they didn't spill all the beans about marriage before we were married. Like I didn't know a lot of things going into marriage. And so there was a lot that I still had to learn, or like things that I thought were one way and they were a different way in marriage, so I don't know if that answers that.
Yeah, it does.
I feel like to answer, I guess, yeah, I feel like their marriage has positively impacted my view on marriage and commitment and partnership and union and oneness and like that kind of thing. And I feel really blessed to have that as an example, because I know it is rare. It is rare, and I like so honor it. I think it's an incredible thing. So, and I know, and now that I'm married, I know how much work and sacrifice even that goes into making it work, not just making it work, but making it enjoyable, making it fun and exciting, so yeah, that's that. Do you have any other thoughts on that?
No.
Okay. Let's move on. So what should be the earliest age of first marriage for men or for women? It's kind of a weird question.
I'm gonna let you take that one first because you got married.
Yeah, so I feel like, I don't know. I feel like, I got married at 18.
Yeah.
I was 18. I was like a week away from being 19. But that's still, even 19, that's young, really young. But my husband is 6 years older than me. So he was a little bit older and more of a typical age to get married, but I was not. But knowing
how old was
him,
he was like 25.
Okay. So he was a week away from being 25. I was a week away from being 18.
Okay, you guys were both kind of young.
Yeah, we were both pretty young, yeah. But now I'm 26 and we've been married almost 8 years now. So 7.5 years now. So anyway, I don't know. I feel like knowing my husband and like hearing his stories of where he was at when he was 18 years old, we wouldn't have been a thing. We wouldn't have been. And he'll tell you that too. He's like, at 19, I would not have been committing to nothing.
Yeah.
Like or 18.
Most people, not even men, women too, sometimes like would not have been committing.
Right.
I know me, because that was part of the reason me and my ex broke up. Like he was ready to lock it down and I was ready to see the world.
Yeah. And I guess it depends on your life experience up to that point. Like I had been like I don't know, I feel like I had been living kind of as an adult for a long time, or so they thought I was an adult. I mean, now 8 years almost later, looking back, like even in marriage, I see how much I have changed. Like I am not the same person I was when we got married at 18 years old. Like I am totally different. So it just has to be right. I don't know. I don't feel like you can put an age on it. I mean, obviously it needs to be legal. Like, so there's that. It needs to be legal. And I do think that there is a level of development in your brain, I think, that needs to take place. Just maturity. I think being mature means to not just be self-reliant and independent, but to be interdependent. Like you have the ability to take care of yourself on your own, but you understand what it means to need someone else as well. And there's this interdependency that's not that is a healthy thing, you know. And I think that's, I don't know, I feel like I'm rambling now.
So for guys, I would say typically they need to be a little older. And this might be just me for my personal whatever. Guys typically do need to be a little older getting married because scientifically they develop slower.
Yeah.
Whereas women, I think, honestly, they can be a little bit younger and it'd be fine. But genuinely, it just has to be the right set of circumstances and the right person. At the end of the day, the right set of circumstances and the right person to make it work. Genuinely.
Ultimately, that's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
And
because it can be the right person in the wrong time.
Yeah, absolutely. And it comes down to the individual, each individual and where they are at in their maturity level, and like what their views on, and even what their life experience has been. Because I know a lot of people who have gotten married, they got married really young and they never sowed their wild oats, and now they're older and they're bitter that they got married young and they weren't ever able to do anything, and they've just been with this person their whole life. And I think that's something to really consider if you're going to get married young, because your life does change and it's not all about you anymore.
No, you are one.
So you're one with another human being for the rest of your life. And what I believe, in my opinion, you should be for the rest of your life. And so, yeah, I think it just has to be really the right person. So the next question is, should romantic love be a prerequisite of marriage? Go ahead. I want to know what you think on this.
Yes, I do think it should be. It's so funny because I was talking to one of my friends like last night, and he was just like, so what is it going to take for somebody to lock you down? And I listed all of these things. We're not doing this.
What's this?
All right, you guys, we're not doing this right now. And I listed all these things. So character, alignment, like vision. We have to be on the same place. And then last, I listed love. And it's not that love, they're all equally as important. But to me, marriage is hard. And love alone won't get you through it. Like you can love, a lot of people who are divorced love the person they're divorced to. They just couldn't make it work.
Ultimately, love is a choice. I think the feelings and all the butterflies and the lust and the magnetizing draw and like the chemistry and all of that, I think all can be interwoven with what we believe love is. You know what I mean? And I think all those things actually are a part of something you feel when you love somebody, you know what I mean? But I think ultimately there are days when you don't feel chemistry, when you aren't attracted to the other person, when you aren't
she's giving you guys a real tea. She's married, you guys.
You aren't, I don't know, I don't even think not attracted. I feel always attracted to my husband, honestly. but I think that's, beauty is fleeting. Like,
yeah.
And physical appearance and all of that is fleeting. And you see the same face every single day. And ultimately you choose to commit and to love that person every day. And so I think ultimately, like, if love a prerequisite, I think ultimately when you first, I'm saying ultimate, let's count how many times I say ultimately. When you first meet someone, there is going to be that initial chemistry and that initial, like, magnetizing pull that you feel with that person, at least in my experience. I don't know if that's the way it is for everybody, but that's the way I felt. Like, it was like I don't know, I don't want to sound cliche or cheesy, but like a magnetic pull. Like,
no, because when you feel it, you feel it.
Yeah.
Like, when it's there, it's just there.
You know, the fireworks and the butterflies and your first kiss, your first handhold, your first, all these things, you know, are so intense and like electrifying and all of that, but that does not last, and that isn't what love is. Even
sure,
that isn't what love is. But I think those, if I don't know if that's what they're meaning by this question, like, is romantic love a prerequisite?
I think for sure it needs to be a part of your marriage.
Like, what does that mean? What does that mean?
I feel like for sure it needs to be a part, but is that gonna be enough to withstand you? No, you need more.
I think you ultimately have to choose. And I think the love and oneness and the bond grows over time. More and more, like, I can say now that I love my husband so much more now than I did when we were first dating 8 years ago. You know what I mean? Like, I like, he is a part of my body. Like, I imagine, you know, like, when someone loses their significant other, like, you are with them every single day, you sleep in the same bed, you finish each other's sentences, or, you know, things like that. Like, you know someone so intimately. Like, if he was gone, or if he's away even for a few days or a week or whatever, I feel like my right arm is missing, you know, like, he's connected to me in that way because you're with them so much. And so, like, the bond that we have and the love and the hard things that we've gone through and the things that have come out about both of us being married has only bonded us closer together and, like, drawn us closer to each other. But ultimately, I have to choose to love him still, even when I don't feel a deep connection at times, or, you know, like, I don't know. I think what I'm saying is it's choice. Like, love is a choice, and it's something you choose to be committed to, because I think the feelings go away from day to day, depending on the circumstances. So,
good answer. Next question.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any other thoughts?
I think we covered it pretty thoroughly.
Pretty thoroughly. Let's see. Okay, this is kind of what we just asked, but the next question is an age difference between husband and wife acceptable if the husband is much older? Yes.
It depends on.
But it's much. Okay. Well, I mean, I
She
consider
said
my
much
husband
older.
as much older, but he's 6 years, so I don't.
So a lot of people don't consider that much. Some people are, like, probably talking about, like, a significant,
like 20 years, 15,
yeah,
20 years.
I
think it depends. I would say no, but I don't know.
You know, we have contrast on this one. So I think it's fine, but I think you do have to be careful of marrying older, especially if you're a girl, because a lot of times guys it'll be more of a trophy, a status symbol. You're more of a thing than an actual person. I've ran into that issue a couple times. So, I mean, we live in Orange County, so it's like older executives or like whatever that like typically date, and they've been around the world and they know how to woo and they're good at it. So you do have to be careful not to fall into that. People thinking that you're a thing or a prop that needs to be like taken care of and handled and So you do just have to be careful that he sees you as an equal and you guys are in alignment with the things that you want. And then you also do have to consider like health. How healthy are they? Am I going to be like, are they going to be here in 20 years?
Yeah,
like
right.
it's a lot to think about. Absolutely. There are a lot of different variables you do have to be.
And the other variable that first comes to mind to me is just a drastic difference in life experience. And I think there would be a barrier just with that, because likely somebody who is that much older likely has already been married for probably many years, and they probably have adult children, and like, you know what I mean? And so there's those things that are like life experience things that, say, a girl in her 20s is gonna have no idea about, and it'll be, I think, difficult to I don't think it's impossible, but I think it would be harder to navigate those things. You'd have to be a really mature
20-year-old. Whereas I feel like I could handle it just because of my circumstances and the crazy situations I've been in. I think I could handle it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I could. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
but I also, yeah.
We're different.
I also could not have been married at 18.
Right.
I don't know.
Right. I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
That's a hard one.
We covered that one.
We covered it.
Next question.
Yeah. Do you think married partners should be in equal decision-making power? Yes or no, or not in all cases? If no, should the husband have authority over the wife?
I'm gonna let you take this one since you've been married almost 8 years now. How does that look?
No, I feel like I don't know. I don't feel like with my marriage, at least, I can't speak for other people. Like, I feel like my husband, he is the head of the household. Like, I feel an honor and a respect for him in that way, but I've never felt like opposed to that. Like, I don't know. I've never felt like he's like, I'm the head of the household, so I'm gonna make this decision and you just submit, wife. Like, he has never ever been that way. We've always had a very mutual like respect for each other, and if I have an opinion about something or I want to do something different than maybe what his idea is, he like genuinely honors and respects that as well. So like, he's gonna make a decision that I don't get an opinion about, or it's never been that. I don't know. It's never been this hierarchy. Like, I don't know. But at the same time, and maybe it's because I am the way I am, and like I'm like, if you say we should go, like if you say let's jump, I will say how high. Like, and maybe if I wasn't that way, maybe there would be more like conflict. I don't know. And that way is because I believe that he is anointed to lead our family. Like, I feel and I believe, at least according to the Bible, like that he is anointed to guide and lead our family. And so if he says something and he's like, I really feel this, like we need to do this, and I'm like, you should. You're
so cute. You're such a ride or die. If he says we're gonna do, we're doing it. I'm down.
I am.
I'm holding. Yeah. I'm in the passenger seat. I love it.
I feel like he would be that way for me as well, though. If I was like, we need to do this, and I feel this strongly in my heart, I feel like he would do that for me as well. And so, I don't know. What do you think?
I think, like she said, from a biblical standpoint, he's the man of the household. I'm going to let him lead. But I do think at the end of the day, we are equals. So my voice does need to be heard, and you do need to be fair, and you need to listen to what I have to say, regardless of the fact that you're the head or the not. Because God called me to be your helper if I'm your wife. So what's on my heart and what I think matters. So I do think it should be equal, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna let my man lead.
Like, yeah, and I feel like I've never had to express that to him. So I think it just depends on the person that maybe you're with, and
I'm not gonna put myself in a situation. Let me make myself clear. I'm not putting myself in a situation where that would even be a thing, because I'm feisty. I'm very feisty. So yeah, I'm just not, because it wouldn't work. We wouldn't work.
And I would say I'm a very I don't know if feisty is the word for me, but I'm highly opinionated.
Yeah, you are opinionated.
I'm very opinionated, but I don't feel like I'm necessarily, I mean, maybe you can say I'm opinionated in a negative way. I feel like I usually come with my opinion.
You have very strong opinions.
But I do have
and
very
you let
strong
them
opinions.
be known.
I do.
No, it's not a bad thing.
I do have very strong opinions. I feel deeply about what I believe.
Very passionate. I love that about you.
Yeah, I feel deeply about what I believe, and I am unashamed in that way. But I feel like if had disagreements on, I can't even think of any like specific topics in life currently. But if we have a disagreement, like we have a conversation about it, and I feel like, and you can tell me, I feel like I am receptive to correction though as well. Like
you are.
And even in our relationship, like if you're like, but I don't think that, because I feel like you're opinionated as well, and you'll be like, I see it this way. I feel like I'm really easy.
You're receptive.
I'm receptive, and I'll be like, oh, okay. Like I'm not gonna hold my ground if I'm clearly wrong.
Yeah, and you'll even stop and be you. You'll be like, so you can tell me this is how I feel, but you can tell me if you don't think I'm right, and I'll be like X, Y, and Z.
Right. I feel like I'm like that in marriage too. I don't know. I would be interested to hear his opinion.
Or maybe we'll invite Gabe next time.
Maybe down. I'm sure. Yeah, so.
Okay, next question.
Okay. Oh, I skipped that. Okay. Do you believe unmarried cohabitation is acceptable before marriage? Or no intent to marry, never, or never? What? So I think they're asking, is it okay to be living with someone before you're not married?
And if you don't have any intentions on getting married?
I mean, I don't personally think so, but I don't think there's any, like if we're saying like biblically, is that allowed? Like, I don't think there's necessarily grounds for saying no, other than not to have premarital sex, which if you're living with your significant other and not having sex with them.
Hats off.
Do you have a connection? How do you do that? How do you do that?
Do you even really like them?
Do you like them? Because if you're able to live with them and not have sex with them, should you marry them? Probably not. You should just be roommates and be friends. Let's not tie the knot.
Okay.
I don't know.
Should you be cohabitating?
So maybe the question is, should you have premarital sex?
No, I think I think the question is what the question is, but we can dive into all of that. We need to pick all of that right now.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Go ahead. You said
I don't think you should I believe in marriage. So, and I think if your goal is to get married, then you shouldn't cohabitate with someone before you get married to them, because otherwise it's just like, what's the point?
Right.
And I do think you should be celibate, but those are my opinions because of the way I was raised, but everybody's different. And if you don't have intention on being married and you want to cohabitate, live your life.
Yeah,
live your best life. If that's what you want to do, if that's ultimately what's going to make you happy, be happy. I'm not here to tell you one way or the other. I'm only giving you my views and my thoughts on it.
Yeah, I don't think that, I agree with that.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, it just depends on what your goals are. And I'm not here to tell you what's right or what's wrong. I can tell you what I believe.
I agree though with what you said in the beginning, that like if your goal is to get married and you just move in with each other, then it's going to be like, why do that?
Yeah.
Why get married? Why? And I think commitment and that means a lot, and the stakes are higher and all of that. So I think if your goal is marriage with someone, then I wouldn't. I think I agree exactly with what you said. I wouldn't just move in, because why?
Mm-hmm.
So
stop giving. Here's one. Stop giving boyfriends husband privileges, you
Okay.
guys. We're not. Stop.
Honestly.
Yeah, I feel like that's a whole other conversation now.
They should have to commit to you.
Yes, they should have to work for you. You are valuable.
More than work, though. Absolutely work. But more than work, commit. Commitment. Yeah, commitment is something that our generation...
Not great with.
Mm-mm.
We're...
And no way.
We struggle.
Yeah, it's a problem. It's a problem. Like we're afraid of commitment in the millennial generation. Hopefully...
And Gen X will be better than us.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think family, the structure of family and family is so important. And anyway. Next question. Having male friends. Is your hubs comfortable with you having male friends? If so, what are the limits with male friends? Texts, hanging out, phone calls. Also, for single people, if you're married, so this is a question for you. If you were married, would you stop having male friends if your husband wasn't comfortable? You want me to go first?
Yeah,
okay.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna say no on the male friends.
Like you're not having any?
No, I mean like acquaintances. Like I meet people and or we'll all hang out. Like my husband has friends, and I would consider my husband's friends my friends. You know, but not like my friend. Like I'm not gonna go have coffee with them.
Okay.
And vice versa. Like he's not gonna go have coffee with or drinks or hang out or be calling and texting a girl. I don't think that's healthy in a marriage.
I think that's a tough one. At the end of the day, I'm gonna respect what my husband wants, but in the industry I'm gonna be in, I do have to be friendly to people. I do have to build certain relationships. So, and yeah. But I think it just boils down to where you are and what you're doing and how that works.
Yeah, because I mean Gabe has, and I've had too, co-workers, and you need to communicate with them through texts and whatever for work related things.
But one-on-one, it's a no for you.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
Okay.
Unless it's a work related thing. Like if he had to go and meet his boss, who's a girl, for work, I would have no problem with that.
Okay, so no one-on-one sessions.
Not we're not hanging out to go have drinks and be buddy-buddy. I think that is a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, it's an opening.
You're opening the door for things, and that why?
Okay.
I think that would be a no for me. I wouldn't be okay with it. Would you be okay with it if your husband was going and just hanging out, having drinks with the girl on his own, and it's not work related? There's no reason for it. They just want to go and hang out and.
What if they're old friends? What if they're childhood friends? How does that work?
I would still say no personally.
Okay.
If we're childhood friends, we can all come hang out together.
Okay, I feel that. Okay. Next question.
I don't know though. He's never at I guess I maybe have to feel out how he feels and hear him out, but he's never asked me, nor have I him, to go and hang out with someone of the opposite sex that's a childhood friend that I just really want to hang out with them and without you. That'd be really
that's an awkward conversation.
He's never asked me that, and I've never asked him that. But I don't think either of us would ask that because I know he probably wouldn't like it, and he knows I probably wouldn't like it.
So it's a mutual respect.
It's a mutual, we both know. We just know.
We just know we're not doing that. Don't even ask.
Yeah. I'm your girlfriend, and you're my boyfriend. That's that.